So we're going to be talking about 5 different assets you can trade in the forex market that can easily cash up to 200 pips per day. So I've been asked this question for quite a long time, and people always want to know the best pairs to trade or assets to trade, especially when it comes to the forex trading, because there's some markets that you enter and the whole movement in a day won't even be up to 50 pips or more than 70 pips, right? So in this video, we're going to be talking about different pairs, up to 5 of them, that can easily give you up to 200 pips in a single day, so that when you're making money, you are actually making quite a lot, and your analysis and your stress of mind will not be in vain just because you are not able to find a reasonable trade. All right, so now let's go ahead and see how this works. So the very first one I'm talking on this is actually what you're seeing on your screen. This is called the EUR USD, right? So just go ahead and put in the EUR USD in your search bar in your trading view, and you'll be able to get the charts imported into your trading view account. So this is basically how the last market looked like. This is currently on a weekend I'm making this video, so this shouldn't be a live market because we're currently on a weekend and it's forex trading. Okay, so this is what happened on Friday from this particular place all the way up to this place is what happened on Friday. So here's actually what I'm gonna be giving you before we actually go ahead and start this video, right? So if you look at the right side of this video, you're gonna see the price of the asset. I see the price over there. Now I want you to count down 4 times from that decimal point, down 4 times, right? And the reason I'm doing this is it will be easier for us to be able to calculate the pips of this market and be able to see how many pips we are likely gonna get from this particular market on Friday alone. So this is on Friday. This is the day it started. It's from this particular level right here. Now, if you look at that place, it says 1.14563. Now, go ahead and count it down, right? So that would give us 1456. The 3 behind is not up to the amount for us to be able to approximate it, right? So it's going to be 1456. So let's go ahead and pull up a calculator right away so we can be able to figure out how to check this out. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do is to go to the top over there and see the highest amount it got in that particular day, right? So it got up to 1.17516, and counting it down, that gives us 1752. Due to the 6 over there is capable of being approximated, right? So let's go ahead and put that number in. Okay, so that's 1752. So when I minus this from the lowest it got for that day, so the lowest it got for this day, I think, okay, so let's do 1454, right? So 145. Check this out. So this is well over 200 pips. You can see over here. So basically, if you are able to predict this market on Friday when it actually was live, and you're able to go into this market at this point and put your stop loss just below here, and you trailed this market, so you would have easily been able to capture all of these 298 pips just on Friday alone. Now, this is a sweet trade. If you ask me, this is something that, every trader would like to cash every here and there. So the other one we're talking about is actually the very well popular one is GBP USD. So I actually have a bias when I'm trading, and it's actually an unpopular bias. And that bias is that I don't like to trade pairs that has the same asset in different markets. So for example, EUR USD, GBP USD, NZD USD. It doesn't make sense to me, right? So if I trade GBP USD, my other one is gonna be NZD CAD. My other one could be maybe JPY EUR or something like that. Like, I like to mix it up, so I don't have a market that is same correlated like this. So you can see over here, GBP USD is basically doing the same thing with EUR USD. Just go ahead and look at the structure, and let's switch back to this. Okay, so EUR USD, and go back to it. So you can see over here that the structure is practically the same, just a little bit different, but you can see over here they're practically, so the market opened, went down, and boom, goes up. So, but regardless, this is also a very nice one that has the amount of pips that you can also look at, right? So if you look at this and you do the calculation just the way we did for the other one, and you can figure that you can easily capture up to 200 pips. So let's go ahead and run the calculation real quick. All right, so quickly, I've gone ahead to pick out the highest point and the lowest point. So the highest point is 3771, while the lowest point is 3377. So quickly, let's go ahead and see. And so here, this one got well over 300. Insane, right? It's too much. So I mean, if you're able to catch this trade, you basically have made your weekend. Like, you're gonna have to ball that weekend for real, for real. Okay, so yeah, so this is also another one, like, right? So basically, with my buyers, if I trade in EUR USD, there's no need trading GBP USD. If I trade in GBP USD, there's no need trading EUR USD. That's my own personal buyers, because they're basically correlated, so they're doing the same thing most of the time, right? Just a bit different, okay? So the other one we're gonna take a look at is very popular one, which is the NZD JPY. It's actually very popular, actually, but so many people don't really know about this, okay? So NZD JPY, you can see over here, the chart has changed completely just because we changed the two pairs. So NZD JPY, actually, sometimes it doesn't always give you what you want. Same thing goes with the GBP USD and EUR USD. Actually, sometimes they have just very slow market, right? But just forget about this. Let's take a look at the historical data of NZD JPY. So you can see over here, you can see this huge movement right here, okay? Look at this. Look at this. So this thing is something that can actually cash in a single day. If you take it, if you actually calculate this is I think this should be way more than 200 pips just in a single day, and it can move away from here. So let's see the date. So this is let's see this one on Monday 2nd of June 2025, and it went all the way up to this place by Wednesday 11th of June. So basically, we're currently on a 1 hour time frame. So just so you know that, okay. And over here, it went from this point on 10th of June, which is a Tuesday, 2025, and by 13, which is 3 days actually into that, and it already has gotten to this point, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that, while trading these assets, some days they are not so well, right? They don't really move that well, but most other days they really do move well. So days like this, although this might look like a small movement to you, but it's not really that small. It's actually because I don't really know how to explain this to you right now, because I don't really have the exact materials to use to do these calculations for you, so you can be able to see it properly. But basically, you can see over here that the pricing we have over here is not the same with what we have in the GBP USD. So it has a bit more, should I say, strength in it, right? Yeah. So the only problem I have with this particular setup is that when I'm trading this particular setup over here, I tend to make more loss, right? Because the market is being indecisive, and I don't like indecisive market, I want when something actually is hunting stop loss, just go ahead and hunt out that stop loss and give me a nice bearish candle, and then boom, I go short, I take my profit, and then go ahead and look for another stop loss hunting. As simple as that. Boom, hunt stop loss, though actually I wouldn't have seen this as a stop loss hunting because it's not really looking like. Then it goes down, you think it's gonna go down, and then all of a sudden it returns up. And sometimes avoid markets like this. You can't help it, you just have to fall into it before you actually figure it out eventually. So that's also why it's good to always use your stop loss every single time you're trading. So the other one we're talking about is actually talking about CAD/CHF. I think this should be the fourth one, right? So you can see over here, this is actually 1 day, 1 hour time frame. So this is more than 1 day. But if we were to take it down to 15 minutes time frame, you're gonna see properly what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it down to 15 minutes time frame and actually pull the chart properly. So let's go ahead and show you properly. So you can see over here, you can see what I'm talking about, right? The market is always moving. It's not that stagnant. It's always moving. You can see the historical data. You can see market open. Let's look for the market close on this particular day. This is market open for this day, and let's see, this is on Friday 20th of so let's make sure. Sorry, this is let's see, we're looking for Monday. This, okay, yeah, so this is 22nd. This is where the market opened. 22nd. Let's see. So I actually think this is actually what we're looking for right here, because market opens late in the night in Sundays in some regions. So in my region, market opens late in the night on Sunday. So I guess that's why it brought out that 22nd over there. Okay, so this is practically where the market for this particular day closed, right? So this over here, this whole movement over here, it actually captured sorry, let's go ahead and put this out. So yeah, it actually captured all of these moves, right? All of these moves. Put it over here and put it over here. So it actually captured this whole move on that particular day. And that's actually quite a lot of profit if you ask me. Although personally, I don't really see any trade I would have taken here if I'm not already in the market, because there's really nothing over here in this range showing me to take a trade, right? But you know, it is what it is, right? Yeah, so this is also a very nice moving one, is CADCHF. So you can go ahead and write it down if you're already taking notes of this. So let's quickly go for the last pair you can, try to take a look at. Now, mind you, these are not the only pairs that actually move well every single day. You can take a look at other ones that I have not mentioned in this video, but for this particular video, we're only going to mention about, these ones. All right, so the other one I'm actually going to be taking a look at is the Australian dollar, right? Now, this Australian dollar, it works well with JPY. It also works well with CHF, right? But it basically depends on you what you actually want to use it to do, right? Now, if you look at this structure, it's very much similar to what happened in the CAD-CHF. Pretty very much similar, but it's not as correlated as that of GBP USD and EUR USD. But regardless, it's still correlated. Now you can see over here that the market actually still moves well as well on its own. You can also reduce this to 15 minutes time frame to also see how far you can get in a single day, right? So you can go ahead and say, okay, let's see what happens over here. What period is this? So this is 18th of June 2025, which is on Wednesday, and this one over here is 23rd of June 2025, which is on Monday, right? So this also covered the weekend. So you can see the weekend over here. It covered the weekend and brought us to Monday. So this weekend alone, for this Monday alone, actually has done super well, right? It did go down and then returned all the way up somewhere here on that same Monday. So it did all this on Monday. So this is actually just a reduced, like it's a higher time frame, so it kind of looks like it's small, but it's really not small. It's something that actually moves well, and you can see over here, this one also here moves really, really well. So it's something that actually does well, if you ask me, and it's something that you can actually use as well for yourself to make quite a lot of money from the forex market. If you're a beginner who is trading and you're looking for some markets that actually move, you can see clearly for yourself that these markets actually do move. They do move really, really well, and it's something you can also take a look at, right? So this is not part of this video, but over here I'm seeing a very strong point of resistance. I mean, if you can see it, you can see it, right? So I'm seeing a very strong point of support, sorry, not resistance. And this support likely is going to help this market go up on Monday, right? Or if it breaks it, then we're going to have to wait for a retest, and then we'll go short with it. Don't tell anybody about this. Anyway, you're welcome, right? So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.